Hi, I'm Karen Holton and I represent Zendome's Organite and Quantum Health Transformation. Welcome back. In the last video that I made, I was talking about 5G and Morgellons. If you haven't watched that video, please do go back and watch it. And it will give you a good idea of what my response is. A lot of people feel very threatened and very victimized by the ill effects of technology, and yet we love our technology. What's not to love about it? I can't imagine how we made do 20 years ago without cell phones. Well, there was cell phones back then, but they were huge. But let's just say prior to 1980, there wasn't any idea except on Star Trek of cell phones. Well, we've got our technologies and they're fantastic. We've got our devices and we've got all of our labor-saving devices, and they produce a huge amount of invisible pollution. And our bodies don't know what to do with it. And so we start having health problems from technology. This pollution is absolutely invisible. We can't see it, we can't smell it, we can't taste it. There's not much we can do about it, and now they're ramping up to 5G, and so it's going to be interesting to see what's going on. Healthcare has become a huge industry. Huge industry. The more sick people there are, the more people are making huge amounts of money. And it's not just the elite and the rich. Anyone who has investments is probably investing in pharmaceuticals. So even if you're Joe Blow the plumber and you and your wife sit down and go, hey, we hear these stocks are doing really good, let's go and invest in them. Even the companies that they think they're investing in, they could be different corporations that are so high up that they don't even realize that those corporations are actually involved in the medical industry, in the pharmaceutical industry. And so if we are not being extremely mindful, present, and ethical, even in our investment choices, we are also responsible for the harm that technology has. But I want you to know that you don't have to be a victim to it. There's so many things you can do. One thing that I do as a response to the EMF in my home, EMF stands for Electro-Magnetic Frequencies, is I have a great deal of organite, and I don't just have any kind of organite. I have my very own brand of organite called Zendome's Organite. Recently, unfortunately, I found out there are copycat people out there who are copying my designs and also copying the actual brand name Zendome, which my brother actually created when he was originally making these pieces for me back in 2013. And I guess everybody wants to pass themselves off as me. And guess what? They can't, because I'm the only one. Yay! So what organite does is it absorbs the electromagnetic frequencies and it alters or restructures the oscillations between the pulses. Because everything that's natural and man-made has these really long and lanky wavelengths. And what the new technologies have are short, very quick oscillating, narrow little bandwidths. And so what happens is the organite will absorb the electromagnetic frequencies into itself, and then the crystals are under pressure. They become piezoelectric. You can Google that, it's a real thing. And they become electrically polarized and they emit a frequency. They are not only absorbing and distributing orgone, but they're also retuning those little short nano oscillations of frequencies into the nice long lanky ones. And so that's how organite helps. But beyond that, I talked in the last video about building your own protection in the etheric. So as I said, information, healing, love, everything comes from top down. It comes from source, which could be like, just imagine a pyramid with the three-dimensional at the bottom and source God at the top. And then there are many, many, many different layers to all of this. It's quite complicated. If you can, go and get Aage Nost's latest book on spiritual science. It will explain a lot. When you want to develop your own shield, you want to develop in the fourth, fifth, sixth, anywhere but the third, second, or first dimensional realities. And that way it actually will protect you because it's top down. So even though it's top down, you access it from within, not from without. I know this is a lot for you to swallow, but when you watch a few of my videos, it will make a lot more sense. And so getting back to constructing this shield, what is absolutely essential is that you're able to hold frequency, and it's essential that you are able to create sacred space. So regardless of your religious or spiritual background, if you know how to create sacred space, that is where you go to create your shield. If you meditate, if you are very careful about what you eat and you only eat real food, if you take good care of yourself, and if you're busy doing random acts of kindness and compassion to other people, what happens is your frequency comes up and it's much easier to create sacred space and to stay within sacred space. Now I have a 9-part series called the Quantum Health Transformation. It runs from step 9 through to step 1. And it's absolutely free and available on my website, www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. Everything's in the links below, so check out the links. Even where to find Aage's book will be down there. And once you can create sacred space, once you can hold frequencies, what happens is the higher spiritual frequencies, what happens is you can create anything you want there, and you actually will it to come out of sub-Planck level, P-L-A-N-C-K maybe, Planck. It's from the scientist who discovered that everything below the Planck level is actually undifferentiated. It's not waves and it's not particles. It's somewhere in an amorphous state, waiting for us to call it and to create it. And the most powerful part for doing creation is the pineal gland, which is in the brain. There's tons of information out there. Please, folks, don't believe what I'm saying. Get out there and do your own research and take it within and find out what resonates with you. So once you're able to create sacred space, what you actually would do before that is you would take a clipboard or a notebook or a notepad, or you could do it on your phone or on your computer, on Word, or whatever you want. You want to spend some time thinking about what you want your shield to do. Because the more specific you are on how your shield is to work, how it can serve you, what it looks like, what it's able to protect you from, and the sky's the limit. But you have to very carefully plan the shield that you want to make. So with pencil and paper, or however you want to do it, spend time thinking about what you want your shield to do for you. And you jot down notes. You literally jot down basically everything that you want. Then later you create sacred space, and within the sacred space you then create within the pineal gland, which is the mind's eye or the imagination, you create and you construct your sphere. So just to give you a little some starter tips, I'll tell you some things that I did with my sphere. I've been working on my sphere now, my shield sphere now, for over a year, probably closer to 2 years. And I built all kinds of safety stuff into it, so it's really quite amazing. I created it to basically encompass me in a giant sphere. Now we have a toroid field or torus field, which is generated by the heart. So please do check out the Heartmath Institute Again, the links will be below to find out more about how we produce this incredibly powerful field of energy. Every single one of us does, and each of us affects each other's because we're all connected. So I constructed a sphere that was a little bit bigger than that. I constructed it in the 5th and 6th dimensional realities, because that's where I wanted to construct it. I wanted it to be almost intangible in the 3-dimensional, so that it didn't encumber me in any way. Like, how are you going to get into bed, or how are you going to get your pants down and change if you've got this huge clunky sphere on you all the time? It would not be practical in the 3-dimensional, plus it won't do what you need it to do in the 3-dimensional. So you create it in the 4th and 5th. Mine is very beautiful. It looks like the inside of an abalone shell. It's all the rainbow colors swirling and dynamic, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's shiny, and it's bright, and it's just beautiful. And I programmed into the shield some characteristics. I programmed it to accept within the sphere that it could reach me in my 3-dimensional reality and in all my other realities, that it could allow in what's in my best interest. And it would then also purge from my body and from my sphere anything that's not serving me. So I thought that was a pretty good place to start. Then I added all kinds of tweaks, too many to even mention here, but I put one tweak in there, is that every time I go outside, my shield will then assess what is needed from my environment for my highest good and pull that in. So if there's codes and cosmic energy coming from the universe or from the sun that would help me to evolve and to be a better person, I'm welcoming them in. But if there's harmful aspects of any of those rays or any of those forces, they are not allowed in. And if there are things that I have generated within my field for whatever reason, because we are powerful beyond measure when it comes to creating, we have no idea what we actually are and what we're capable of, which is partly why I'm making these videos. So it's really important for me to let out what doesn't serve me. Cells in the body work the same way. Many, many things work on the same principle. And I recommend that you pattern a lot of the qualities of your shield on things that we find in nature that we really understand or that is intuitively known by us. So every time I go outside, my shields automatically upgrade, update, get boosted, whatever. And I just program that in. So every time I would go outside for a walk, I would do a bit of a meditation walk. So starts off with pen and paper. You decide what it is you want to do, what you want from your shield. Do you want to be protected from 5G? Do you want it to let in other things that are good for you? Do you want it to purge what's not good for you? Do you want it to be how high do you want it to be in your dimensional reality availability, okay? Everything that you want that shield to do for you, just as if you were designing a shelf, or you were designing a little cabin, or you were trying to decide on a book you were writing, it doesn't matter. You still have to spend the time planning. Then you take it into sacred space. Within sacred space, anything is possible. You program yourself, everything that you wrote down on your sheet. And then you start taking it out and you exercise it and you practice it. So then every time you go out for a little walk, and if you don't go out for a walk, maybe it's time to think about it. I can't tell you how amazingly therapeutic it is to be out in nature, out into the natural world. What little bits of it we have around us. Even what we think of as natural is actually been constructed. Pretty much the whole world has been shaped, and we've been led to believe that it's something that is very limited and very limiting, when in reality things are much bigger, much more dynamic, much more exciting. We have way more freedom, and beyond choice we can create. How incredible is that? So then I would go out, I would do these sort of meditation walks where while I'm walking, I would visualize my shield, I would visualize all the different aspects of my shield, what it's doing for me, and everything like that. And then I would come back inside and I'd basically forget about it because it just works. Funny thing about it is I'm exceptionally electromagnetic sensitive. Everything that's plugs into the wall, anything like that. Of course, I'm also sensitive to all kinds of other things too. You know, I'm very empathic. I pick up even stuff that's none of my business from other people. I'm able to communicate with a huge array of guides and other beings who help me with my the work that I want to do on this planet. And so it's really important for me to get a handle on something that I could create to protect myself. So the funny thing about this is between the orgonite that I have, which is different than any other orgonite on the planet, please do go watch my orgonite videos and you will see exactly what I mean. But besides the orgonite, I've been working on my shields. And every time I go out, so it's been like, you know, I go for a walk every couple of days or even every day when I can. I live where it's really, really cold. It's actually -11 out there and all snowy already, and it's only the beginning of October. And so I can't always get out. But anyway, I can always open a window and let the sun shine on my face. I can do all kinds of things. Anyway, I just keep working on the shield. And lo and behold, if my electromagnetic sensitivities are not improving significantly. There are other things I'm doing too. Minerals are so important. People are so mineral deficient, they don't even realize it. They're going to the doctor and they're taking all these pills, and the pills are depleting you of more minerals when really maybe all you really need is more potassium or more magnesium, or maybe you need copper. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. This isn't health advice, but I'm just trying to tell you minerals absolutely support your electrical system, which is part of your vagus or vagal nerve system, which is also part of your endocannabinoid system and is also linked to your pineal gland. And your pineal gland is your amazing gland that actually is coated on the inside with the same rods and cones or very similar rods and cones as what's in your retinas, allowing you to have vision. And your body produces actually this little mix of chemicals that then your little optic nerves in there pick up, and that's how you get your mind's eye. It's really very fascinating. And your imagination. That's why there's so much emphasis on decalcifying your pineal gland. So all of these things are relevant to building your own shield. And I really recommend you get on it right away. Make it fun, make it interesting. After you've done your research and you've done your pencil and paper, aspect of building your shield, and you've planned it all out, because you are the engineer of your own life. You just maybe don't know it yet, okay? And you create all that, then you create sacred space, and the sacred space can be very interesting. So many people do it in so many ways. Some people do it in church. Some people do it by building themselves an altar. Some people do it while they're meditating. People who do Reiki, people who do all the different kinds of energy healing arts are all dealing in sacred space and in higher frequencies and in higher dimensions. It's absolutely doable, and it's not that hard. The hard part is, first of all, figuring it out what you want, being very specific. This all ties into manifestation. It all ties into law of attraction. This is all part of the same huge mechanical reality, energetic mechanical reality that we live in. And so I've been working on it, and my life is definitely getting better. And for the first time, I'm not at all afraid of 5G. Yes, I'll do everything I can without trying to push it away, because the more we push it away, the more we bring it in. But I do everything I can to be proactive within my own sphere, within my own health, so that I don't have to be fried when they flip the switch and turn it on. I'm not saying it's going to fry everybody, but there is a certain amount of skin burning that we get even now just from Wi-Fi, just from cell phones. There's all kinds of health issues that we're getting from our technologies. So you're not a victim. You don't never have to be a victim. You are powerful beyond control. And so I really, really recommend you work on your shielding. And you start now. Now. There's no more time to wait. Start your shielding now. Get it done. Practice. If you have to write it on the calendar, put it in your day timer, or put it in your phone to remind you. Work on your shielding. It's very, very important. Now, I'm going to end this video now because I don't want it to be too long, but I will make another one, which is a third one, and I'm actually going to take you through a guided meditation. So, and it will be on how to create sacred space and how to visualize building your shield. And for those of you who don't feel comfortable building your own shield, I will help you build a basic shield, and then you can add whatever you want to that later on. So I hope you like this video. I hope you share it. I really hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow it, and I want to bring nothing but good things to this world because it's my job and I really love my job. So come see me soon. www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. In the links below. Read Aage's book. It will really, really help you to understand this information more. And that's about it. I hope you have the best day ever. I know that sounds silly, but I really mean it. And I have so many good days. I never ever thought I'd get to this point. My life was pretty shitty before. I had a lot of bad things happen to me, traumas and all kinds of things. But you know what? I stuck to my program. I've got my guides. Thank God for that. I've got my relationship with God or the universe. I've got so many wonderful things. People who love me. My life has changed 100% more than that. And I don't even know how it all happened. All I had to do was learn to love my body temple and take good care of it. And the rest just came to me. So, enough about all of that. Hope your day's awesome.